All right, welcome back. Our next guest just returned from a trip to China and South Korea, where he met with international business and political leaders to examine the future of U.S. trade in the region. Joining us right now is Georgia Senator David Perdue. Senator Perdue, as you probably know, is the former CEO of both Dollar General and of Reebok. And Senator, it's great to see you today.
Good morning, guys.
Let's talk. We have so many things to talk about, but let's start with this trip to Asia, because it's very timely given the trade issues that we're facing. What's your takeaway after touring the region and coming back?
Well, two things. Number one, they're very serious about developing. They call themselves the largest developing country in the world, and yet they're already a $12 trillion economy. Adjusted for purchasing power parity, they're almost our size already, and they're vertically organized. We met 3 of the top 7 Politburo leaders over there, including the chairman in China, and they are very serious about dealing with the United States, about growing their economy, and about protecting their homeland. So this is a country that's on the rise. We have to deal with them. I think the president's taken the right tack. He's gotten their attention. And you saw the week after we were over there, after the president threatened them with tariffs, that President Xi actually came in and voluntarily offered to back up on some of the tariffs that they now have against the U.S.
Autos, in particular,
Absolutely.
was one that he offered. Those are things that they've offered in the past. Do you think they follow through this time?
Well, you know, talk is cheap, and we all know that, and that's one reason why I think President Trump put these tariffs on there to tell them, let's start the conversation. Look, in South Korea, we did this about a year ago, and in the last year, we've been talking to South Korea, and look what happened. We now have a new trade agreement with South Korea that puts us on much more of a level playing field.
Do you think trade agreements should be one-offs, or are you a fan of the TPP, of renegotiating?
Well, I was a fan of TPP, and I still am for this reason. But I think you can get better deals individually if you do bilateral agreements, but you have to really hustle to do that because we have so many to do. We don't have an FTA, free trade agreement, with Japan, for example. But of the 11 that we were talking about in TPP, 7 or so we have bilateral agreements with. The problem is that China right now is reestablishing their attempt to pull 16 countries together in their consortium, and that really worries me.
What does that mean for CEOs of American companies?
Well, first of all, I think we want a level playing field. We met with several CEOs and people who are operating in China, have been operating in China for the last 2 decades. And it's a mixed bag. Some are doing well. Some have to transfer technology in order to do business in China, and we don't want that. Look, Alibaba we met with for the better part of a day. The CEO, founder, Jack Ma, was very gracious, hosted us. We met with DJI, the 70% market share owner of all the drones in the world. We met with Tencent. So this is a very comprehensive trip visiting 5 cities. And what we walk away with is the fact that the federal government over there is very much involved in their enterprise. They spent $150 billion starting a chip industry. Alibaba can do cloud computing in the United States, but Google cannot do cloud computing in China. That sort of reciprocal imbalance has to be corrected.
What's your next step if that's the case? If we're at the table and you think President Trump has gotten their attention, do you think that this is something that can be addressed in the near future?
Oh, absolutely. There's no reason.
Intellectual property, too?
Oh, absolutely. We talked about that with the leaders of China. We also talked about the current tariff conversation. And what they want to do is enter into a dialogue. Now, as you said earlier, they've been doing this for 10 years. And so, but we have a new sheriff in town here. And he's not, he's not afraid to actually put things in play. For example, the tariffs. We know that some of these tariffs would create imbalances in terms of impact on the U.S. economy right now. For one, I was a little bit nervous about it, candidly, because what I really wanted to do was let the changes that we did last year in the economy have a run, let the economy breathe again for the first time in a decade. I mean, what President Trump did last year was phenomenal. It was historic. What he did was, job one was growing the economy. And to do that, we focused on regulation, energy, and taxes. And we see right now, over 3 million jobs have been created. Things are moving. I'd love to see the economy take advantage of some of the $6 trillion that we're going to see coming back into this economy because of the regulatory work, because of the Dodd-Frank bill that we just passed in the Senate, hopefully we'll pass the House, and because of the energy work that we've done. The $6 trillion from banking and from the Russell 1000 because of the overregulation is very serious. I believe that this is going to really dramatically impact our economy.
Senator Perdue, I want to thank you for your time. It's always a pleasure to see you.
It's great seeing you guys. Thanks.